Welcome, Minister, to the Chamber. It's a matter of disappointment to me that neither ministers from the Department of Education could be here, but having said that, I'll raise the matter and hopefully I get some kind of a constructive reply from you, Minister. Basically, I have concerns as Labour Party spokesperson in education about the government's capacity to deal with the relationship between the state and religious patron bodies when it comes to education, and the fact that, in my mind, my suspicion is that the bent of the Department of Education and the particular minister we have in charge of that department is against the multi-denominational model. We have a baptism barrier legislation which we still haven't seen yet. We have a number of second-level Educate Together school campaigns around the country which are getting no support from the department. I think in particular of one in Galway, one in Kildare and one in Dublin 13. We have a circular from the department last week spoken by the Minister about a number of schools who will not have religious instruction changes for those students who don't want to partake in religious instruction, but for some reason only some schools are going to be covered by this new circular, even though it's a constitutional right. And we have the issue of a number of schools who have religious orders selling off their lands, and now the religious orders are threatening to disband board of managements and asking the Minister to disband board of managements who have the temerity to resist the selling of lands, particularly in Clonkeene College is a particular issue I'm dealing with at the moment, with Councillor Deirdre Kingston in that area. So there's a whole plethora of issues about the relationship between the state and the education system, which is effectively run by patron bodies, and the power to which the state is willing to influence for the good of the people and the good of pupils, a model of education which is outside of religious influence. Now we have the situation of 5 primary schools, new primary schools, Educate Together primary schools in New Ross, in Trim, in Tuam, in Tramore and in Castlebar, who are being told by the department that they are to have restricted enrolment from next September. 13. Now, when we were in government, Minister, the Labour Party were in government, but we went out of our way to petition in various different parts of the country to see what interest there was amongst parent bodies for the first time on different models of education. And despite much scepticism, we discovered that there is a huge interest around the country for a different model of education, one which wouldn't be under religious influence. And these 5 schools were established, and now they are being told by the department that they must have restricted enrolment from next September. So I'm wondering as to what the thought process was behind that decision, why these schools are being singled out. Is it mere coincidence that they all happen to be Educate Together schools, or is it really keeping in line with the sort of conservative mindset of a department, that means the conservative mindset of a minister, and with all the other things taken into account, with baptism barrier, the circular on religious instruction, the failure to support second-level Educate Together school campaigns, the fact that board of managements are now under threat from religious orders threatening to disband them if they stand in the way of the selling of school lands, and this issue again. Can anybody from government genuinely say that this Department of Education, under this tenure of Minister Richard Bruton, is in any way going to defend the rights of parents to have their children educated without the influence under the patronage of a multi-denominational patron body? So I'm interested to hear your response, Minister, and we can toss it around and debate it a bit further. Thank you.